All right, so we are going to start our portrait series. We're going to start with a profile painting. Those are generally quite a bit easier when you're first starting out because making sure that the eyes are even and the shape of the face is even and stuff is generally pretty difficult when you first start out. So we're going to start with this. Now we are going to create the shape of the face. As always, you want to start with a pre-sketch. So we're going to do an oval and a circle like this. So this is the back of the head. This is the front of the face. Her neck. To be a little bit thicker here, I think. Alright, so then we have her jaw right here on the bottom of this oval here. Do an oval here for her ear. And then we're going to create the shape of her face. So we've got the curve of the chin, curve in. We've got lips. Bring the lips up here. The nose. Put the curve of the nose here. And bring it in. Now, when you're doing a profile or when you're doing a portrait picture, you really want to make sure that you take your time and do the pre-sketch the way that you want it, because you don't want to start painting and then realize that your face is uneven. It's a lot harder to change then. So we're going to erase these center circles here. Now I'm not going to sketch out the hair because the hair itself is actually, I'm going to do most of the detail from that with the paint itself. So let's get started. Alright, so we are going to start with a lot of white here. So we're going to add some water to the white. Then we're going to want a little bit of orange. Tiny bit of red. So then you end up with this kind of cream color here. So we're going to start with that. So you want to make sure that you put a base coat of this color over all of where her skin is showing. All right. Then we are going to take a little bit of brown and mix it straight into this color here. So then creating this color here, and I'm going to add a little bit of red as well. We're going to add shadows to the face here. So we're going to follow this jawline here. Bring it up under her cheekbone. We got some shadow there. And then we are going to create kind of a triangle here under her chin. Right, and then we're going to do some shadow under where her hair sits. And we're going to follow the curve of her nose here and under. Right, and then we are going to map out where the eye is going to be. So if you follow this curve here on her brow ridge, coming down from the top of her forehead, you're going to follow that curve like this. So I'm going to make a slightly darker color by adding a little bit more brown. And darken that again, right there. Darken right here. And then darken this whole line right here. Going up and going down. going to blend out some of this so that it's not quite so dark. Alright, so we're still mapping out the shape of this eye. So it's basically like a little triangle here. We're going to put dark all along the outside of that triangle. Alright, so I'm rinsing off the brush, and then I am going to blend out this line here. Alright, now we're going to take a dab of red and add it into that brown so that we create a little bit of a kind of dull pink. There we are. Alright, now we're going to grab some brown and we're going to map out the hair here. So we're going to grab brown. We're going to make sure that we bring down a little bit in front of the ear, but don't cover her ear. I mean, you can if you want to. Sometimes that's easier. Ears are hard to paint, but for the purposes of this, we're not going to because I would like you guys to try first. We're going to wrap around the ear. Bring that out. Once this is a little bit more dry, we can add some little hairs down here. Alright, so in this picture she's got a part in her hair going down here, so we're going to follow that like this. So then you're just going to make sure that your hairs are coming out from where this part is. So then I'm following kind of the design that her hair is in, but you can choose to edit that a little bit if you want. But her hair is in some loops along here. And then some wisps of hair coming down. Like so. Just like so. Alright, so then I'm going to take what's left of the brown on my brush and I'm going to add it into that white again on the edge here until it creates kind of a duller brown. And we're going to follow this line again. Just like so. We're going to add a little bit down here as well. Get some more shadows going. And then we are going to do kind of like a line following the same shape of the ear on the inside. And it's going to come down to about right there. Just like a little half heart. And then we're going to do kind of a misshapen spot in here, like so. Add a little bit of shadow down at the bottom here. We're going to shade the edge of the ear here. Just like that. Now we're going to take that same brown here, that lighter brown that we used down here, and we're going to give her an eyebrow ridge. So we have a curve going this way. We're going to find about halfway through that little curve here, and then we are going to create a little half heart, like that. Now we're going to grab some black. We're going to follow the top part of the eye here, just like that. And then we are going to add some eyelashes in, just like this. Now they're going to be much longer up front than they are in back. And once again, I'm using that same kind of brush that we used for the landscape paintings, which is not necessarily the most ideal brush to be doing things like this with. So I ended up with too long of an eyelash. But this is important because I want to show you guys that you can change and fix your mistakes. So I'm just going to lighten that with some water and blot it off. And then add some of that light cream back over it, just like that. And then I'm going to take a much lighter gray and follow the bottom part here. Take some dark brown. And then take some black, put that over the front, just like that. And we're going to add another line kind of above this, just blotting that out a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to take another little bit of dark brown, and we're going to do a very, very light line on here. Now I am taking a little bit of that brown and I'm adding it into the black so that it's really, really dark brown. And then I am going to go over some of my lines here. Just like this. Just like that. We're going to follow all the little lines that we had put for our hair. But we're going to make sure that that lighter brown shows through underneath because we don't want it to be completely covered. And here's that little loop up here. Now we got this little loop here. Alright, just like that. Now, you can pretty much just leave it like this, or you can take some darker colors and do a few different touch-ups. Do some highlights and lowlights. So I'm going to take some black and I am going to darken the inside of her ear a little bit. I'm going to add some shadow down the back of her neck here. You can decide if you want to add the top of her shirt up on top here. She's got a curve of her shirt right here, and you can decide what kind of clothing you want her to be wearing. She's got kind of a frilly thing on right now, just like this. So I'm just going to add a layer of that, and then I'm going to add some little ruffles to it with the dark. I'm not going to put a ton of detail in that because that's not really my priority here. Alright, now I'm going to take some white, which I have to push a little bit of this cream away to get to, but that's okay. So I'm going to grab some white, and I'm going to add that into the brown. And I'm going to add some little highlights. To the top of her hair here. Just like that. So I'm going to add a little bit of brown to kind of purple pink color, and I'm going to do a little bit of a low light here on her lips. Just like this. And there we are.